themselves.
I've just always enjoyed the out of doors, places where there are large spaces between people. I find the quiet and lovely surroundings are an inspiration to my work, to building things, and to my music.
The only trouble with mountains is that they're lumpy, and when the temperature's in the 90s, going up the lumps takes all 12 gears and all the water you can carry.
Ready?
How you doing? All right?
Good.
Looks like a good day today, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Better than yesterday, anyway.
Here, let me get the door.
Are we going to be able to get this in okay, you reckon?
Oh, yeah. Plenty of room.
It's a bit heavy. We'll leave the bags on anyway and try it and see how it goes. Michael Klein is one of nature's gentlemen. He's a friend of Sam Rosetta's, a fine musician in his own right, and a great lover of the mountains, its music, and its people. He was going to be my guide for the next few days, and because we were going to be travelling up the creeks, down the valleys, and crisscrossing the mountains, we threw the bike in the back of his old van.
We've got 52 degrees of partly sunny skies here in the New River Valley, and I'm BJ Allen keeping you company on Southwestern Virginia's Choice. We're V105.
This country was settled by people who were forced to be independent because of their isolation here. In fact, who probably sought out this country because of the isolation and the independence it offered. That's very much reflected in the music here. There's a lovely independent quality that seems to pick up on natural themes, you know. A lot of the fiddle music feels like the mountains here, rugged and twisty, and you get the sounds of water sometimes, and the wind blowing over rocks and through trees, and all those qualities I can hear in the music. And so you have music which can definitely be traced to the British Isles, for example, changing and melding into music that originated here, and it's a very interesting mix.
Woody Simmons is 73 years old and one of the most unforgettable men I've ever met. After several major heart operations and a serious car smash, he's still winning fiddle competitions all over the Appalachians and playing like a man 50 years younger.
Yeah.
That's absolutely wonderful.
How are you doing?
one called?
Whiskey before breakfast.
Whiskey before breakfast.
Yes, sir.
That's an
Yeah.
awful thought, isn't it?
Yeah, it is this morning.
It's hard to take before breakfast.
Yes,
You're right.
Yes, sir.
Or any other time.
That's a smart shooter.
That's lovely, isn't
I
it?
never did drink much of it.
On every available ledge and every hook in sight are the mementos of a man who's made music his whole life.
I learned to play the banjo first, and I always knew if I had a fiddle, I could tune it up and I could learn to play it. And the old man Smith Trees, he's a bachelor, and he had the first phonograph I ever heard. And the Western Maryland train run to Hutton'sville, and he'd catch that train and go to Elkins on Saturday and get records, old fiddling John Carson. And we'd go over there to Smith's and listen to that phonograph one night. Well, he had a fiddle. Well, he moved from there and I moved on up in the holler there, and I knew he had this fiddle, and I wanted it awful bad, but didn't know how in the world to go get it. So I asked Smith why he'd take for it, and he told me. So I told him, I said, well, I'd like to have it, but I don't have the money, but building fires at the schoolhouse and doing the sweeping. And if you'll let me have the fiddle, I'll pay you for it in the spring of the year. And my dad gave him a bushel of potatoes. I remember that, and so I built the fires in the spring of the year. Then all about school was out in the last April, I think. I took the money over and gave it to Smith, and I've still yet got the fiddle.
How old were you then?
I was 13 years old.
And how long was it before you could play tunes on it well?
I learned to play it just as soon as I got it. I learned to play Soldier Joy.
You fancy playing it now? The old way?
Let's try some of it, Woody.
You ready?
It was only after getting into the mountains themselves that I realised why I'd come to Appalachia. I'd enjoyed the razzmatazz and the noise and the bustle of the other side of America. That was good fun. That was fine. But here, in people like Sam and Michael and Woody, I felt that at last I'd met the real stuff. While they're learning to play the fiddle, unless that is you're learning it too. But the less musical retreat into a world of buckets and bowls, lace making and dulcimers, potting and printing.
Okay. Okay, now you see you just got that one pair of passes to go through. One pair, okay?
So you're going to do it again?
This has ended up almost flat, however, it started out with a good deal of arch to it because the downward pressure of the strings wants to flatten it out. And so I try and calculate the amount of arch that I put in the top in this direction to just about exactly flatten out after the strings are put on. You can start seeing that we're eventually getting in to bringing this down all the way so that the curve is continuous from the center on down to the edges.
The Elkins Festival is a celebration of all things Appalachian. It hums with students trying to pick up every note and subtlety in the master classes. There, legendary fiddlers like Ernie Carpenter pass on tunes they learnt in the self-same way some 50 or so years ago. It's no exaggeration to say that the picking and plucking goes on from dawn until dusk. And for some, the fix lasts well into the midnight hour and on to the next day. From Elkins, I met up with Michael Klein again, and we travelled together down the pike to Webster County. He loves nothing better than talking about Appalachia, and he wanted me to drop in on some of the people who are part of the living tradition of the mountains. Their roots go down a long way.
I think of the original culture of early settlers as being a subsistence. By that I mean it was a little bit of everything, based on primarily on what one needed to survive. People traveled light. They did not concern themselves with owning a lot of things or even owning land. They picked up on the beliefs of the Indians that they displaced along that line, I think.
The land was there for everybody to use.
The land was there for everybody.
One of the people who remembers the country when the pioneers first went up into the creeks and hollows is Currence Hammonds. He's 84 now, but he's still singing, picking and talking. The Hammonds family is legendary in West Virginia, and Currence's memory goes back clearly all the way to his grandfather's early days in the mountains.
Oh, it was nothing but a wilderness. There was no roads in there, nothing, just paths to walk in. Yeah. They called it the road, the wagon road, they called it. They'd come up to the mouth of Johnson Brains. And that up and it just a path. You could take a horse, ride a horse up through there, but you couldn't take nothing else. Yeah.
So what did he do?
They just went to work.
Did some of those people get in under a rock and side around the rock? Or?
They stayed around under the rock. There's one family stayed under a rock one whole winter and summer. Raised his family there. Well, not all of them, but the most of them. Yes, sir. Oh, if the rock is high as up to that ceiling, you could just walk under it and walk back as far as you can back through this house.
Sided in the front of it?
No, it just opened. He went to work and put the sided in on each side and just left the front open. The front was just about as wide as that wall.
He built a fire there?
That's where he built his fire. And the heat from that fire, he clear back through under it. Yeah.
And they baked their bread in the ashes?
Baked their bread right there on that fireplace and done their cooking. Yes, sir. That's where they made their coffee, baked their bread, fry everything. They lived on wild meat, you know, mostly. They never hardly bought nothing. No, maybe a little cornmeal or something like that, but after they got it cleaned up, they raised their own corn, the wheat and stuff. Wild meat, they lived on wild meat.
So that was your grandpap,
That was my
Jess,
grandpap and his brother.
and his brother, Old Pete.
Old Jess.
Old Pete Hammonds?
No, Old Jess. Jess, grandpap's name was Jess,
Yeah.
and his brother was named Jess, Old Jess. That's my great-grandpap.
Carrying on the traditions of breaking away from mainstream America is getting harder by the day. But one family who made the break from city life are Jerry and Mary Milnes and their children. They're a new sort of pioneer. They cleared their land, used the trees they felled to build a log house, and settled into a self-sufficient life 2 miles up the hollow from the nearest country roads. They've turned away from the deep freeze, plug-in, all-electric, instant society. They've created a home of indescribable peace and calm, and like everyone I met in the backwoods, they were only too happy to share it. They gave me one of the best days of the whole trip.
Ready to play some music?
Yeah, I think I'll write home and tell them I'm stopping.
Well, these people will play some music with you.
Paradise. Okay. How you doing? I'm another Mike.
Jerry.
Pleased to meet you, Jerry.
Yeah, this is Mike Harding.
You know this one
Jerry
already?
Milnes.
Yeah, come on inside.
It's a beautiful place you've got
Thank
here.
you. Thank you.
You take lodgers?
Where's that fiddle?
All inside here.
Oh, a few tunes.
Good, Betty. That's
Great.
good.
That was great, kid. I think you're really very lucky living here. I think it's great.
Don't have cows.
Here's a sheep.
We'll let you stroke him.
That's Budge and his brother is Budge.
Fudge and Budge.
There's some more lambs that Eli and Zachary.
How old are they?
Up
Very friendly, isn't he? Is it a he or a she?
He.
Do you have many snakes around here?
I don't know too much about snakes, but the one that I saw in water, I saw with my friend, and my mom was up at the house, and we were playing in the water, and also we saw this snake moving, and we ran up and told my mom, and she came down and killed him.
That's the best thing to do with snakes, isn't it? Catch the bird, swallowed the bird to catch the spider that wriggled and jiggled inside her. And she swallowed the spider to catch the fly
I don't know why she swallowed a fly. I guess she'll die.
She swallowed a gate? And a chicken? That wasn't a woman who swallowed a chicken. She got so sick and she swallowed a chicken. Is that right? I got it wrong. Sick and a chicken. You tired?
I'll play you this old tune that it's almost a legend in this part of the country about this old man, Saul Carpenter, who was in prison during the Civil War at a place called Camp Chase. He'd been in there for a while, and the captain of this prison, he decided to have a fiddle contest, the winner being set free.
All those old prisoners could play the fiddle.
And this is back during the Civil War.
Yeah.
So old Saul, he jumps up and plays this tune.
Yeah, of course you can dance.
Yeah,
You come on in.
So old Saul plays this tune and plays, just plays the tar out of it, you know.
Yeah.
Gets set free. And nobody knows what the original name of the tune was, but they ended up calling the tune Camp Chase after that.
Seems great. Isn't that good? So how much land have you got on the small holding here?
Well, we're supposed to have 75 acres. That's what the deed calls for. It's never been surveyed.
Yeah.
So, it's, you know, it's sort of hard to say.
And
But it's more than we need.
And who's got the rest of it? Round, like on the ridge?
Well, the one whole side, there's 5,000 acres owned by a land-holding company in Georgia.
5,000 acres?
Yeah. And that's, you know, it's a problem because there's 80% of the land in West Virginia is owned by out-of-state landholders. And they're not generally interested in developing. They might develop the coal or the oil or lease out the timber.
Yeah.
But they pay minimal taxes because it's considered unimproved land. They don't even pay. And that's 80% of the land in West Virginia. It's a real problem in West Virginia. In lots of ways, it makes it like a third world country.
Yeah.
Because we're, you know.
Because the money goes out of the state.
Mm-hmm. And because the people in the state can't get hold of land to live on. There was a flood in southern West Virginia a few years back, wiped out a whole section. And the people needed to relocate because their homes and trailers had been washed away.
Yeah.
They couldn't buy any land to live on because it was all owned by large corporations. Even our friends down in Birch River, they've tried to buy land right up here in our holler. And there's some, besides this large tract that's owned out of state, there's some more that's owned out of state, and then the rest of it's owned by in-state, but they are lumbermen and they won't sell.
And they use it for just chopping the
Well,
trees down?
yeah, they'll take the trees down, and yet they haven't even done that. Of course, they could any time, I suppose, but it's an investment too.
Yeah.
And taxes are very low, so I'm sure it's a good investment. I mean, you know.
For them?
Yeah,
Not for
right.
not for
not
the county?
for the community, right. Not for the county either, right. Our county has some of the poorest services and considered the poorest school system, but I guess you get what you pay for.
We met Woody Simmons and Currents yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And we were playing with them. Did you learn music from Woody and Currents?
Yeah, I did learn a lot of music from them. Mainly, I think I learned from Currents is the whole feeling about the music, you know, the whole feeling of old-time living, you know. Currents, he grew up in a place in this county, Webster County, that was just really remote and really way back in where people lived in the old-time way, you know, from morning till night, from everything they did. And that, I really feel privileged to have gotten to know a person like that, you know, who could have grown up 400 or 500 years ago, and it would have been exactly like the way he grew up, you know.
He's a great character.
Oh, boy. Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
I mean, there must have been more change in this area in the last 20 years than in the previous 250 altogether.
I'd say.
And when you built this place, did you have a set of plans for it, or did you make it all up out of your head?
Years before I ever started building anything,
Yeah.
I started doodling around and making little sketches, and it sort of grew as time went on until I actually started building.
Is it something that grew up as an idea inside you, wanting to come out up here and live this sort of life, you know, this
Yeah.
sort of self-sufficient life?
Yeah, it was, I guess it wasn't something I realized for a long time, you know, but I was headed towards that for a long time.
Yeah.
Before I actually made the move, yeah.
And do you think has it made a change to you?
Uh-huh,
as
yeah.
a person?
I've slowed down and, yeah.
Really, Moses?
You ought to stay with us, and we'd form a little band and go play places.
I'd have trouble explaining that to the wife. Dear wife, we'll not be home. I've joined band.
Now, delicious Chick-fil-A chicken from noon till 2 or 5 to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Plus, when you buy one of our Chick-fil-A meals, you'll get a free dessert. Your choice of a lemon pie slice, apple pie, or 4-ounce ice cream. Come by and taste it all.
I don't know what it is about the main drags, but even a humble cyclist has to function like a motorist. It's junk food or nothing. You've got to play the game or go hungry. Hello? Is anybody there? Hello? Hello? Are you up? Yes, please. Can I have a quarter-pound single, please? Some French fries, and I'll have a large Mountain Dew.
What did you like on your hamburger?
What did I want on my hamburger? Can I just have some barbecue sauce if you've got it?
Sorry, but we don't have it. We have mayonnaise, ketchup, pickle, onion, tomato, lettuce, mustard, relish, and cheese.
I'm sorry, you've got what?
We have cheese, mayonnaise, ketchup, pickle, onion, tomato, lettuce, and mustard.
I'll just have some onions on it then, please.
Hey, would you like a jumbo fry?
A jumbo frog?
Fry.
Okay. Jumbo frog. Yes, thank you. How much?
A jumbo fry and a large Mountain Dew, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Is there anything else now?
No, that's all. That's all.
Okay, come on around. We'll give you your total.
Thank you. Jumbo frog? Jumbo frogs, drive-in movies, and radio gods. And in the middle of it all, the tranquility of Jerry and Mary's homestead. It all left me asking, which is the real America?
The updated forecast for the afternoon is calling for sunny skies. Temperatures only climbing to about 82 for the high today. That's great. For tonight, clear skies, lows dropping to 60. It'll be cooling down this evening. That's going to feel wonderful. And for Wednesday, more sunny weather like today with temperatures only climbing to about 85 for the high. I love it.
Mike Harding's